bad idea. Crap. I don't have my phone on me. Help! Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today is day 14 of the Every Bit Counts Challenge. And yesterday, I didn't do anything for the Every Bit Counts Challenge because I literally did not finish editing my video until 1 o'clock in the morning. It was such a busy day. You've already seen it if you've seen this, but we finished up the Coop, and then I spent a good portion of the afternoon hanging out with my son. We went to the fair in town. Well, it's more of, what is it called? A festival in town. It's kind of like a giant farmer's market but more of like a special event kind of vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like the big one in town that happens every week. Like, it's not like that. It's more of like vendors, like specialty kind of vendors, like handmade stuff, and it was really cool. It was really fun. It's been a really long time since I've actually like hung out and spent like some real like intentional time with my son, so that was a lot of fun, and that was well worth staying up that late for. So I didn't do food preservation project. Today's gonna be a much more of a chill day for me. I kind of need a bit of a woosah since the last few days of this project that I really It took way more than I expected it to. Let's go where it's not so sunny. I've built several cattle panel greenhouses in the same style. I built those hoop coops, or not hoop coops, the arched trellis things that are pretty similar model. And I didn't think anything of it. But I think it's the wrapping that takes so long, the wrapping and the fierce, like making sure that it's really secure, because you know you're putting animals in there. You need to make sure it's secure so that they don't get attacked by predators. So that's all I can figure why this was so much more than any other project that I've done. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the chickens and move them. We're gonna grab the things that the chickens need and put them in there. Then we're gonna put the chickens in there. Oh, these things. Oh, they're everywhere, especially my hair. Okay, so I'm gonna go take care of the rest of the birds, and then I'll meet you back inside. Quite a few things that I need to get done in the kitchen. Kind of just a low-key, kind of chill type thing, all building up to me getting ready for the food preservation project, because that's gonna take. I need clean things, and that's not clean. So I'm gonna do the dishes real quick. We're gonna get dinner going in the crock pot. We're gonna wash our jars from the pulled pork. We're just gonna have a futzin' kind of day. These little things in my hair. Sorry for the noise from the dishwasher. I did the dishes. But anyways, we also got all the jars cleaned up. I'm gonna let them kind of dry off, then we'll mark them, and then have Robert find a place to put them. Now we just need to filter through our lard. We're gonna do exactly the same thing that we did yesterday. That came out a lot quicker than I thought. There we go. Okay, so with all this, you want to make sure that you're doing it hot, because if you don't, then the fat will be solid and you won't get as much out of it. And this is warm, it's not hot. So might not. I turned it off right before I started the dishes, which I probably should not have done. Okay, so we're just gonna let that drain for a little bit, and whatever's left in the cheesecloth goes to the chickens. Okay, so this is the pork that we canned together the other day, and this is the extra jar that we had. And I don't know if you heard it, but it had a vacuum, so it's not shelf stable at that point. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying, but it will last longer in the fridge if you do that. If you get it to form a vacuum, I mean. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. So we're gonna go ahead, turn this bad boy on high until it starts to bubble, and then I'm gonna turn it down to low, and it's just gonna simmer for the rest of the day. It's been a little longer than I would care to admit, or I will because it's 6:52. And so we're gonna go ahead and get ready for our canning projects that we have coming up tomorrow. And I'm gonna do half chili beans and half different beans. And so we're gonna go ahead and get our beans prepped and ready the night before. So I know a lot of people like to do what's that called? Dry canning. But I've heard some various things about it. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I've done it in the past. But if I want to eat the beans, and if I want my son to be able to eat the beans and without having any issues, they need to be soaked. So I like to take them actually a step further, and I like to soak them with vinegar, and that helps to draw out the, what did somebody call it, fart juice? To pull out the fart juice even further. And it just basically helps to mitigate the tummy grumbling factors even further when you add the vinegar to it. So I figured I'd do it in a unique way. I actually saw this originally. I think her channel name was A Road to the Farm. She used to post videos on all sorts of like healthy living sorts of things, but I haven't seen her post anything in a really long time. But this is where I got that method from, so I figured I would go ahead and tell you that. So first thing that we need to do is we need to rinse and sort through our beans. We're gonna be doing both black beans and pinto beans. First thing we're gonna do is rinse and pick through our beans. Start with, why is this? All right, we had a vacuum seal on going on that one. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse and sort through our beans. Well, sort through, then rinse our beans. And we're gonna do 8 jars of each type of bean. So we're gonna pick through our beans. We're looking for rocks or anything funky weird. Like, I don't really care that, hey, there's 1 pinto bean in here, or 4, but I'm looking for rocks. That's my concern. I don't care if the beans are broken open like this one, don't care. I am only looking for stones. See? A stone. It is insanely rare, but you will find them, and you don't want to crunch it down on that. Okay, so the black beans are a lot smaller, so we're gonna put it in this one so they don't fall through. Okay, because they were, that's why. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and just kind of rinse them off pretty good. Sift through them, my hands are clean. For the pinto beans, I'm a little bit extra cautious with the beans, and I learned to do this method from the Needy Homesteader. This is kind of how she showed me how to do it in her video, so this is how I do it. Just making sure that you're not hitting any stones, because these stones can be really hard to see if you're just like dumping it in a strainer and trying to sift through to find it. You're not going to find it. I mean, rarely, I should say, rarely will you find it. But if you're doing it like, and just being extra cautious like this, you're a lot more likely to actually find the stone. I don't remember how many that was. we might be doing an extra set. I think that was 2. Is that 2? No, that had to be 3. Oh, well, I'll go with 3. Alrighty, so now we're just gonna go ahead and wash our jars real quick because they are new. Next up, we're going to put half of a cup of the beans in each jar and a tablespoon of vinegar. Then we're just going to top it off with water. Now we're just going to stir up each one. And now we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover this up and leave it, depending on when you start, you can wanna dump and rinse it every 8 hours, maybe more. Like if you're doing it for like a 24-hour cycle, change every 8 hours, so you're gonna change it out like 2 or 3 times. And you don't need to do it that much, you can just change it out like once in the middle, but it depends on what your schedule allows for. Kind of just whatever you can do. You know, I would say you definitely wanna dump and rinse it at least 1 time if you're really going for like easing up on the fart juice, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know why I said it like that, because I said what I was saying. So I'm just gonna cover this up. We're gonna head outside and take care of the chickens. I checked on these guys a couple times throughout the day. I filled up their waters, both waters, and their feed still seems to be fine considering the fact they're on 12 hours on, 12 hours off. They still have just a little bit of food left, so it's pretty much perfect. We need to now put the latches on here. I'm gonna put 2 of them on here just to make, if I can fit it, I'm gonna put 2 of them on here just to make sure that these guys are super safe. I tried to put a second latch down at the bottom, but I just can't with the way that things are down there. It won't work, it won't fit. So I'm just gonna put the top one, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab their feed barrel so I can shove it right up against this. Nice and safe. I think probably for added crookedness. Bad idea. Crap. I don't have my phone on me. Help! Robert! Help me! Robert! Robert! Malachi! Go get him! Go get him! I'm stuck! I'm stuck!
Oh, like you're killed or something.
I was just trying to be loud enough that you'd hear me.
Yeah, like that.
I usually call you and you just don't come, so I figured I'd go really loud. But it is kind of dire. It sucks if I got stuck in here. I gotta figure out some way so that doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Did you lock yourself in there?
Yeah, I did. I really did. I gotta figure out when to not do that one again. Alright, so we're gonna have to figure out some way to make sure that that does not happen again. Thankfully, I screamed loud enough that Robert heard me. I'm so glad I wasn't alone when that happened. I'm gonna see you guys back here tomorrow where we're gonna drain out the beans. I just want this to make sure that you guys have a good idea of how to do this particular way of soaking beans. Start to finish. Real quick also, I think I figured out how to keep myself from getting locked in there again. Well, I didn't figure it out, I just remembered. I'd seen a design one time on a house that we'd rented on their gate. And basically, see it's got this little hole right here. They screwed a hole straight through and then put a piece of string so they could pull on it anytime it got latched, and keep myself from getting locked in again. So here's what the jars look like the next morning. You can see all the foam that came to the top, all the little fizzy bubbles, that too. We're gonna take our jar, right? And we're gonna dump it through this nylon mesh sieve. I would not recommend using a metal one because you run the risk of scratching your rims. I get this. If you don't have this, I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. This comes in, I think it's a 3-pack of 3 different sizes. There's all different options. You don't have to buy this one, but I bought this one, so I'll link it down below for you. So I just rinse it out a couple times. Give it a good shake. And you could, even if you don't want to do that, if you like, you could just run it over. I just put the little mesh on there and just let it run just a little bit. You're just rinsing them off. There we go. And then top them off with water. Oh, also, can you guys see? We put in half a cup of beans, and now we have like a cup and a quarter. And I've heard that it's not necessary to add the vinegar in subsequent soakings, but I still do, because I don't want to have ill effects of beans. All right, so we got the beans all ready and set to go for the rest of the day. Just come back for tomorrow's video and you guys are gonna go ahead and see what we actually do with these cans of beans. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys maybe learned a way to make things a little bit more gut friendly for you, and got to see some cute little chickens and kittens in the process. So if you guys are new around here, we just moved to a 30-acre homestead in southern Missouri. We're transplants from Washington State, and I'm bringing you along and showing you all the things we're doing to turn our home into a homestead, as well as doing videos like this on canning, freezing, dehydrating, and fermenting, and showing you guys how you can use those preserved foods in your everyday cooking. If all that sounds awesome to you, make sure you hit this button right here. This is what tells YouTube you want to come back here. Up here is a video that Mr. Google Pants thinks that you're going to enjoy. This is my last Every Bit Counts challenge video, and then up here is my last Every Bit Counts challenge playlist. Make sure you check it out for all the awesomeness since the beginning of August. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.